This little Lexus has a lot on its shoulders. In fact, nothing less than recruiting the next generation of Lexus buyers that'll sustain the company for like the next 20 years. And this particular model is their longest ball toward that goal. Let's drive the 2012 CT200h Premium with the F Sport package and check the tech. Now, as I've told you before, when we reviewed the previous Lexus CT we had, I love the ergonomics in this guy. This lay-down console is kind of mid-60s Thunderbird, and it's exactly where your hand wants to go for climate, your media controls. But here's where the ergonomics start to fall apart. This hole right here is for this thing, the Lexus electronics holder. Pretty clever, huh? You stick it in there and it kind of sits in the hole. You turn that around, you can stick your phone in there, and a little universal kind of a clamp holds it. But it's got issues. First of all, when you're driving, it rattles and creaks. That is not in the Lexus playbook of quality. Then there's this deal. It's always crooked. That makes me crazy. It gets in the way of reaching other knobs. How do I get to the drive knob? How do I get to the tuning knob without kind of contorting myself? And worst of all, if the seat heater buttons are up and your passenger turns this thing, they shear that button off right there. Okay, enough of that. The ergonomic nightmares continue. Small as they may be, here's your USB aux port. Right here where a door wants to close on it, but can't, because anything you plug in there is going to keep the door from closing. And even if it didn't, where's the little port for the cable to trail out so I can leave that closed? The little Lexus details are missing right here. Made me nuts. Now, more substantial stuff. We've got the head unit here with a generally excellent Lexus interface, and it's a little pop-up kind of a deal. You can set different angles of tilt. And we've shown you this many times on Lexus cars. I like everything on it. I like the way they lay things out. It's clear, it's easy to use. And I have actually fallen in love with this, the remote touch controller, which has this little upside down little jog puck right here. You move around things by moving a cursor. It has haptic feedback, which locks you or makes those things sticky. Really great for using this with minimal distraction. And in these days, when the federal government's talking about killing all distraction, this is a leader. Once you get to where you're going, you use Enter, Menu, Map, or this scroll rocker here to make things happen. This big knob here does not control the interface. It just controls the drive mode. Counterclockwise for Eco, Push to be normal, all the way over for Sport. Sport puts this guy in a mode where it's going to have a revised throttle curve, more aggressive acceleration. It ups the voltage from the battery to the electric motor to get more oomph out of it, and it tightens up the electric power steering. Over here is EV mode. If you press that, the car will do whatever it can to run up to 1 mile at up to 25 miles an hour on battery only, direct link to the electric motor. And things on the dash change as you change the drive controller. When you're in normal mode, you get a charge or discharge gauge. Turn to Sport, and that dynamically turns into a tack. Very trick. And notice, it all turns red too. The media options are pretty excellent. You got AM, FM, satellite radio, a single slot CD, and you've got aux and USB, as I showed you, Bluetooth hands-free and Bluetooth streaming. A general note about all these options. I'm only going to ballpark what all this tech costs, somewhere between $5,100 and $6,500 to get this car CNET style. I'm ballparking it because this car has the most complicated configuration I've ever seen in any car in all the years we've been reviewing tech in cars. It's bewildering on their website. You're going to need the dealer to help you through it, or just buy what's on the lot. Under hood, a CT200 is basically Prius stuff. 1.8-liter inline-4 Atkinson cycle, which is a lean burn motor, and then coupled to that's an electric motor. The numbers are kind of funky. 98 horsepower on the engine, 80 horsepower on the electric motor, but it sums to 134 horse. It's not totally additive. 105 foot-pounds of torque, but that doesn't include the electric motor's various contributions depending on drive mode and throttle profile. Gets this 3,150-pound car to 60 in the mid to high 9-second range and delivers 4340 mpg. One choice only on the drivetrain. It's an electronic CVT gearbox with that little funky upside-down putter shifter. Front-wheel drive only. And, of course, the drive mode selector is the key tech feature. And the thing I want to find out mostly on this little quick drive is how does the Sport mode compare to the standard mode or the Eco mode. So when I go to Sport here, I get my tack, I get my red gauges now. And we'll try a little acceleration. Because I've been driving the car around mostly in normal mode. I think I'll detect if it's significantly different in a 1, 2, 3 sort of a launch here. Because I've been driving the car around mostly in normal mode. I think I'll detect if it's significantly different in a 1, 2, 3 sort of a launch here. 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 1, 2, 3 sort of a la Yeah, there's definitely a little more spine in it when you get to the sport mode. The steering does tighten up a little. The ratio seems to change, or the weighting changes at least. There's electric power steering in this car. At no point does it make a very interesting sound. It's a hybrid. It's meant to be more refined than it is growling. And that eCVT keeps the RPMs largely in one range all the time. But I think what Lexus has done here is they've put together a car that has that Lexus quality, with the exception of that damn phone holder, and a lighter footprint. It doesn't have some of the bombast that you associate with a Lexus being this sort of Mercedes fighter. But I could definitely learn to like this car an awful lot. Again, the ergonomics in the cabin are one of my favorite things. Second favorite thing is the integration of the powertrain. It's very elegant. And third thing is the practicality of the body style. It's a small car, but you can get enough in here to make it an everyday sort of a hauler for small runs for things. Okay, a CT done CNET style is going to run you in a 38 grand, given one of those complicated option arrays you're going to pick. That's not bad for a Lexus, but a lot of folks look at this and say, that's not what I have in mind as a Lexus. It's a compact car. That's one challenge they've got to figure out. The bigger issue, though, is Americans have yet to find a place in their head for the concept of a premium compact. It's going to have to be a matter of time before this car and others like it make a slot for itself.